Mufasa, the Lion King's journey. First light of dawn broke across the Pride Lands, bathing the vast golden savanna in a warm glow. Atop Pride Rock, a young Mufasa stood, his gaze fixed on the horizon, his heart racing with the anticipation of the day's challenges. Even as a young lion, he knew that he would one day carry the weight of these lands on his shoulders, but what that truly meant, that part, he was only beginning to understand. As Mufasa watched over the land, his father, King Ahadi, approached quietly, his footsteps firm yet gentle. "Come, my son." Ahadi's voice was deep, resonant, carrying both authority and warmth. "There's something you need to see." Mufasa followed his father to the edge of Pride Rock, where they could see every corner of the Pride Lands: the grazing antelope, the zebras clustered near the watering hole, the delicate birds fluttering among the trees. "One day, all of this will be your responsibility," Ahadi said, his eyes softening as he looked down at his son. "To lead, you must love this land and every creature that calls it home." "But how, father?" Mufasa asked, his voice filled with wonder and a hint of doubt. "How can I protect everyone?" Ahadi gave a small, knowing smile. "A true king doesn't protect by force alone. Strength lies not in our claws, Mufasa, but in our hearts. It means standing tall in the face of danger, but also showing compassion when it's hardest." From that moment, Mufasa's understanding of leadership shifted. It was not only about being strong but being wise and fair, even when the path ahead seemed uncertain. As the years passed, Mufasa grew into a formidable lion, earning the respect of his pride and the other creatures of the Pride Lands. But not everyone shared the same admiration. His younger brother, Taka, who would later take the name Scar, watched from the shadows, feeling increasingly overshadowed and bitter. Scar was as clever as Mufasa was strong, with a sharp mind and charisma that often drew others to his side. Yet, instead of admiration, he harbored envy and resentment toward his brother. One evening, after a long day of training and patrolling, Mufasa found Scar sitting alone under an acacia tree staring into the fading light. Mufasa approached, hoping to bridge the growing distance between them. "Scar, why do you keep to yourself so much?" he asked gently, settling down beside him. Scar let out a short laugh, his tone sharp. "It's easy for you to say, brother, you, with your mighty roars and boundless strength. But some of us are not born with the same fortune." Mufasa's brow furrowed. "But you're my brother, Scar. That makes you just as important to me and to the Pride Lands." Scar's gaze darkened, perhaps in your eyes, but in everyone else's, "I am merely the shadow to your light." Though Mufasa couldn't fully understand his brother's bitterness, he tried to ease his heart. "Strength comes in many forms, Scar. One day, you'll see it for yourself."
But that moment never came. Scar's resentment only deepened over the years, and Mufasa, despite his best efforts, found himself unable to bring his brother closer. It was a shadow that would follow him throughout his life, a reminder that even the greatest kings cannot always unite those closest to them. When Mufasa eventually took his father's place as king, he found himself facing challenges beyond his wildest imaginings. A fierce drought swept through the Pride Lands, leaving the rivers dry and the grasslands barren. Animals began to suffer, tensions rose, and Mufasa's leadership was tested like never before. Day after day, he would walk the land with his trusted advisors, making difficult decisions to ration food and water. "We must be fair," he would remind his council, even as others grew desperate. "Every creature, from the smallest insect to the largest elephant, deserves our protection." Yet, not all could understand his vision. Many grew frustrated, and even within his pride, there were whispers of dissent. But Mufasa stood firm, sacrificing his own comfort, sharing in the hardships of his subjects to show them he was not just their king, but one of them. One evening, after a particularly grueling day, he returned to Pride Rock exhausted. As he lay on the warm stone, Sarabi, his mate, lay down beside him, resting her head against his. "You carry so much, Mufasa," she murmured, her voice a balm to his weary heart. "It's my duty," he replied, though his eyes were heavy with weariness. "But some days it feels endless." Sarabi's gaze softened. "A true king feels the weight of his crown. But remember, you are not alone. You have a pride, a family. We stand with you." Her words reignited Mufasa's strength. He knew that leadership wasn't a solitary path. It was shared with those who loved him and believed in his vision. As time went on, Mufasa and Sarabi were blessed with a son, Simba. Mufasa adored Simba, finding joy in teaching him about the Pride Lands and the balance that held their world together. Together, they would walk through the grasslands, and Mufasa would tell Simba of the circle of life, of how each creature played its part in maintaining harmony. Simba was filled with questions, his eyes wide with curiosity. "So, we eat the antelope, and then we're part of the circle of life?" he asked one day. "Yes, my son," Mufasa replied with a gentle chuckle. "It's all connected. And one day you'll understand how to keep that balance just as I do." In these quiet moments, Mufasa saw glimpses of the king his son would become. But he also knew the Pride lands held dangers that Simba was not yet ready to face. His heart swelled with pride and fear, for he knew that protecting his son and the land would demand everything he had.
Thank you for watching the incredible journey of Mufasa, the Lion King. His story of bravery, wisdom, and sacrifice is one that will live on forever. If this story inspired you, please give this video a thumbs up, share it with your friends, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more amazing stories. Join us as we bring you more tales of courage, wisdom, and heart. See you in the next video.